Just a tip, don't look at the top. Yes, we are in the process of building the house and it's not yet constructed, but it's in the process, right? So we trust the process. Um, just a word of encouragement to everyone who feels life is going downhill. There's just one simple key that I learned that applies to almost everything in life. That's consistency. And 99.9% of us have no cooking clue what consistency is. Basically, what I learned the hard way is that consistency is just having the ability to do a task and complete it. So basically, do something and do it until its end, which is not a very easy thing to do. Yeah.
Bear with me. I'm giving you a definition of consistency, right? But in action, because every word is defined by a certain type of action that you have to take. In this case here, consistency and inconsistency, and how to take accountability and how to act on it. Okay, so there's also the process of completing the process of eating. You eat, you're done eating, you take your bowl to the sink, you wash your bowl or your plate, you rinse it, you put it in the rack, you grab a fatuk, you dry your dishes, and then you pack it away. That makes it very simplified for us who are raising kids and who are in the process of teaching our kids certain words and their definitions, right? So in my case, I want them to learn and to understand consistency. I don't want them to grow old and never understand how to complete a task until its end, or be like their mom. Their mom has a whole lot of unclosed doors, inconsistencies. I've not died yet of any inconsistencies. What I have done is that I've taken accountability for my life and my actions and my inconsistencies. Now, there's this huge major fact about inconsistencies. You don't die from it. You don't feel incomplete. What you do feel is inconsistent. And what I've learned is that the discussion of the so-called ADHD is linked to inconsistencies. It's a whole lot of tasks undone, incomplete, and they've now given it a name, or they've many years ago given it a name, as they have given narcissism a name. All right, that word. It's become such an in thing or an in term recently. But no one really seems to understand that every word has a traumatic experience that's linked to it. And yes, narcissism is a thing. So is ADHD or AD. They're all related to some sort of past drama or trauma that a person has gone through. And to label a title to it, like giving marriage a title, it's exactly the same thing. You give something a title and you become blocked by it mentally. You give yourself an oppression. I feel very compelled to motivate and encourage a lot of you out there that it's not a sickness, it's not a disease, it's not a disability. I know it feels like it is, and I know it feels like it's a big deal, and it can become a big deal as long as you hide behind the inconsistency and the fact that you are refusing to take accountability. This is your life. This is your future. And this is just something that takes accountability. It just takes for you to sit down with yourself and acknowledge that this is something that is a part of you, all right? It's exactly like dealing with the dark side of oneself. Now, like I said, I've had a lot of experiences of my own that I can tie a lot of good and a lot of bad to. However, in this instance, I want to use this opportunity to let everyone know that it's not something that you can die from, all right? It's something that can kill you eventually if you don't change what you're telling yourself, and if you don't change what you believe about yourself, then definitely your entire life will become a demise. You will bring yourself to a failure of some sort, right? However, if you just take a moment right now and write down everything, every door that's unclosed, every inconsistency, every weakness that you could possibly have that is tied to and related to something, some trauma, some past experience, you've left it behind you, and maybe you're turning a blind eye. My blind eye was all the smoking that I did over the years, smoking cigarettes, the habit of smoking cigarettes. Metaphysically, what that means is
I have the small
a
piece
crowded judgment.
and I'll be
So
recording and then
I use
you can
the smoke
from the other button.
to hide behind the negative perception I had about myself, the negative belief that I had about myself because of all of the trauma that I went through growing up, and most of the trauma that I put myself through throughout my life because I refused to take accountability. Immediately when I began to take accountability for everything that was inconsistent in my life began to take a proper position. Purposeful life.